So, that crispy person back again. So, I'm sorry if you can hear like crunch, crunch, crunch. That's the piece of paper on the mic I put on because I'm a dumbass. Okay, maybe. Hold up. Will this work? Okay, I'm just gonna hope this is working. Um, let's see. I am doing fan art for the anime called Princess Tutu. I was one of those kids, and I still am. I'm currently, let's see, 15. 15. I just turned 15 I don't know, a couple weeks ago. Yeah. So, whenever I was younger, I was, and I still am, one of those kids who loved romance. Give me a good romance, and I tear into that like I've never had before because I love romance. Uh, that's just like my passion right there. Watching some romance, reading some romance. Give me that, and I will love. And so I was on this lookout for like romance animes because I was like, hmm, I need something good to watch. And so Princess Tutu ended up being one of those shows I clicked on I'm like, this looks like a romance. And oh dear, was I wrong and right at the same time. How is that even possible? I do not know, but I was wrong and right. And so, um, I got this anime with like romance as a prominent thing, but like not really focusing on the romance. Like, how do I explain it? Like, girl is totally in love with boy, but it doesn't focus on that. It focuses on this girl trying to get his heart back, and I'm like, you go, girl, do it for your love. But it doesn't really focus on romance. And then I ended up shipping her with like Fakir. I ended up shipping Duck with Fakir, and you'll see why I did that. You'll see why if you ever watch the show. Where I watched it was Amazon Prime, by the way. I always did because I don't know, like I've always had it, so I'm like, okay. And it's an English dub for Amazon Prime, but like Amazon Prime Insta videos, but like a shout out to y'all guys, free promotion, don't have to pay me even. But I mean, like, if you really want to go like watch that stuff, like subbed or whatever, you know where to go. Kiss anime. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, yeah, so yeah, and yeah, that was a romance anime I ended up really loving, even though it wasn't really a romance anime. It's weird. And so the quest begins to tell you about my ship. I love Duck. Duck is a character, or I can't pronounce Japanese, so I'm not even gonna. I'm just gonna use her English name, which is Duck. Which is kind of funny because in one episode, one of the characters are like, "Oh, Duck, that's such a nice name." And I know in Japanese it's still called Duck, but like, if you're hearing it in your native language, you're gonna be like, "They called Duck a nice name." Listen to this, Fakir over here. I'm sorry, Fakir over here has a better name. It sounds like fuck ear. Um, no, but I'm so dumb. Um, yeah, it was funny for me when they were like, "That's such a nice name, Duck," and I'm like, "It's Duck. The name is Duck. Like, what?" And so like, Yeah. So I love Duck with all my heart. She starts out as this character who's like really energetic and really ready to get into it, but like she slowly like I don't know, the character development is really good. Like you don't even notice like how she ends up not like you need to watch the show yourself. Like, oh, I'm getting emotional about it. Like, Miss Adel is one of the characters you meet pretty first off in episode like 2 or 3 maybe. And so I love Miss Adel. Miss Adel is my life, and I want to draw Uzura. And if you don't know who Uzura is, you just gotta watch the show. And I want to draw Adel. Uzura literally made me cry. Like, oh my, she was like, okay, hold on. Let me tell you about Duck a little more. Duck is a duck, and she's like, I really want to help the prince because he looks very lonely, right? And so I'm like, yes, girl, go get your prince. And I'm sorry, I'm so weird. Um, and so like, um, she ends up becoming a regular girl, and I'm like, yes, you get one wish so far. And then she's like, I wish the prince would look happier. And so what ends up happening is like she turns into Princess Tutu, and she has to collect all his heart shards because he shattered his own heart. And you'll know the reason as soon as you watch the episode. Like, it's because he needed to lock away the raven. And big ass spoiler alert's gonna come up later. I'll tell you whenever it does, but he like needs to lock up the raven, and so she's like, I wanna help gather his heart. He looks so lonely, and or like his eyes look so sad or something like that, right? I barely finished watching the show today too. Like, that's how bad of a memory I have. And so she ends up going to go get his like heart shards, and like, how can I explain this in a way? I I was like, she's so selfless. Because honestly, I wouldn't do anything like that. I'm so selfish on another level. I'm not like other girls. I'm selfish. Yeah, I'll tell you right away. No. Um, no. I keep saying no. And watch that become my thing. Um, so she ends up becoming Princess Tutu because Drosselmeyer's like, yo, you're the only one who can accept her fate, so you're becoming Princess Tutu. And she's like, cool, man. And so what happens is she is Princess Tutu now. But the thing is, major spoiler alert, one of the heart shards is the pendant who turns her into, uh, you know, a human. And Princess Tutu herself. And so at the end of the episode, like episode 25, yeah, she gives it away, and she ends up becoming just a regular duck. And the whole time she didn't want to do this in front of Muto because, like, who wants to let their love know that they're something they're not, this fantastical thing, you know? Like, it's an overused thing, but it's honestly truer than true, you know? And so she ends up becoming super self conscious about it the whole time until episode 70. No, not 75, I'm sorry. Episode 25. She finally gives away the heart shard because she knows now that that's that's her whole reason for doing this, is to give him the heart. It doesn't matter if she can be a real girl or not. And I'm like, okay, be honest. like, to be honest, she is one of the most selfless girls in anime I've seen. I mean, you've seen others, but like, I mean, wow. At the beginning of the show, she starts out like, I really want to help the prince and just have one party do with him. I hope I'm saying that right. And so I'm like, oh, cute. She's doing it for the prince, I guess, right? And so, and I'm like, in the end of the episode, she's like, I want to do this for the prince so he can actually, you know, be himself and like save Rue, because that's who he ends up getting with. Uh, and I'm like, you do it, Duck. And I'm, I'm still emotional. um, and so also Fakir, that there was real gay tension in the beginning episodes. I ain't gonna lie, Fakir and Muto were like, whoa, whoa there, buddy. And so I'm like, that's pretty gay. And I don't know, but like, whenever you get to the episode, like halfway, I think, episode 14 or 13, yeah, somewhere around there, like, even a little before that, you start shipping them, like Duck and Fakir, or I do. Because, let me tell you, it gets real good with that ship. And it brings it even out even more during the late episodes, like episode 20 something, I think, like 23, or just like after that moment, after the major dance battle with Princess Tutu and Princess Krohi, Fakir and Duck end up becoming like closer. And ooh, let me just tell you, that just like made me ship it so hard. Fakir, man, like in episode 23 to 26 or something, like, he got real angry because Duck was getting hurt, and I'm like, boy, get your girl, get your girl, because I really love that ship, and you know, it really pushes it, and I'm like, yeah, because I don't know, I didn't like, even though Muto, I can't, Siegfried, his prince name is Siegfried. Siegfried. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this right anymore. Um, even as a kid, I didn't ship her really with him. I just like, and then I always shipped her with Fakir no matter what. And now I know even more while I'm like older. And I'm like, whoa, Fakir, you really looking out for her, aren't you? You're really like, buddy. Like, at one point, he's like, if I can't protect him, I can at least protect her. And then he got really upset because he couldn't protect her at one point. He's supposed to be the knight, but he ended up being not a great knight, so, you know. So what ends up happening is like, Fakir is like promised Duck one thing during like episode 25 or 25. Like, he's like, no matter what, even if you turn into a duck, I'll stay by your side. And I'm like, whoa, my ship, whoa. And even, and like, and the last scene, of the show is just Duck and Fakir at this lake. Duck is a duck already, but you know, he has these powers that he can turn stories into reality. And what if like one day he ends up turning Duck into a normal human girl? And so I'm like, Fakir, you're best boy for me right now. You are the absolute best. And I don't know. And I've been reading. I've been like. I promised myself after I finished Princess Tutu, I will read some freaking fan fiction because I know like a couple of months ago or like a couple of weeks ago, I don't know. I was reading Princess Tutu fan fiction because I was getting into fan fiction with Homestuck, and I was like, I remember this one ship. I might as well try to look it up and see what I find. And I found like my ship, Fakir and Duck. And I'm like, okay, let me read some, and some of them were really good. But whenever I started watching the show again a couple of days ago, I'm like, I'm not reading any fan fiction until I finish the show. And did I keep that promise? And I'm gonna read some fan fiction whenever this ends because I love Fakir and I love Duck and they need some love, and I feel like them loving each other would be great, even though Fakir is like this grumpy old man. Like, I don't know. And so I'm like, well, Fakir's actually like her age or maybe a little older, but they're both still young, so like there's something wrong with that because like how many high schoolers do you see dating other high schoolers? A lot. And how many high schoolers do you see dating high schoolers that is probably like 1 or 2 years older than them? A lot. So it's fine, it's fine. As long as it isn't pedophilia, which it isn't, we're fine. Although if you start shipping Drosselmeyer with one of these kids, I'm about to beat your ass. He doesn't deserve any love, and that's totally pedophilia. But although I can't say anything, I used to ship like these teacher and student dynamics, but it's only whenever they're in high school and they're about to graduate, like the student is about to graduate or they are in college. But I will not ship a kid who's like younger than I with a kid who's in high school. Like, who does that? Who does that? Like, really? That kid is never gonna be able to be seen in that way, and if he does, he's definitely not gonna get it the good way. He is most likely gonna get that person sent to jail. Or her. Get her sent to jail, or whatever. Like, I don't care, like, what you say, but, like, you definitely do not. I'm sorry, I'm going on this rant. This will be saved for another day. And so, where was I? Oh yeah, Fakir and Duck. Yeah, that's a ship that I'm planning to read as soon as this video is finished, which is gonna be in a couple of minutes, because I think the video is like 23, 26, I don't know, I would have to check later. Minutes. And if you didn't know, this like speed paint is like sped up like by 4. Yeah, by 4. And so, it should be like an hour 33 minutes long. Yeah, an hour and 33 minutes long. That's how long it took to draw this fan art. And I'm not even. I'm counting the background I'm gonna do, which I'm gonna tell you in a minute what I was trying to do. But yeah. So let's see what else do I have. I don't have any notes. This is all unscripted, like I said in my introduction video, like a couple of years ago when I was still very pudgy. I still am, but I think I look not that pudgy anymore. Also, my hair is gone. My hair is gone. I'm so glad. I mean, my hair isn't like bald, but I cut it recently and I'm super happy about that because I hated having long hair. Anyway, sorry for going on these short rants, but oh yeah, I forgot I was doing that. So yeah, the background I'm gonna do in a minute is gonna be like, what the hell are you doing? And I'll tell you what am I doing because I did not know what I was doing either. But I'll tell you what I thought I was doing. I really need to stop doing that. um, so yeah, let it continue. Boo 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 doo. Ba da ba ba da 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 da. Okay, here we go. So what I try to do is step one, make some bricks. And so what I did that is get some lines, which I end up yep, and then I end up nope, yeah, and then I end up yeah. This probably doesn't make sense if you're only listening, but and then I tried to like make it look like there was what do you call it? Shading with leaves, like there was some leaves that weren't covering it, but that ended up looking whack, like really whack. And so we end up make we no I end up trying to do grass. Or first I do the shading for the concrete sidewalk, I don't know. And then I try to like do this grass tutorial that I read a couple of months ago. And so of course Elena doesn't remember that. She ain't I'm sorry, I said my real name. Oh my god. Crispy, your overlord, of course doesn't remember that. She has a really bad memory. Foo foo foo. Yeah, a really bad memory. So I ended up messing it up so many times to the point where you're just gonna see constant drawings of green or constant art of greenness and nothing else for a couple of minutes or so. And so what ends up happening is I end up making it look like it's raining, which is fine. And it ends up looking okay in the end. Not bad at all. Well, I mean, if you really look close, it will look bad, but if you look at it, the whole picture itself, it looks okay. But yeah, Elena cannot remember that tutorial at all. And then I ended up like trying to make the grass look shorter by putting those white lines, but then it just ended up making it look like what is going on, you know? So yeah, because the grass looked really long. And yeah, that's when I ended up making it look like trash. But it looks okay, I guess. And we're about to end the video in a couple of minutes. Or not even a couple, just like one or two. Yeah, couple. Yeah. So, yeah. The crispy person is here to say goodbye. I'm not gonna see you again until the next video, which I don't know when it's gonna be. So, bye bye. Yeah, I should probably leave this now.